Hey, hello. So today's video is a little bit of a different format than I normally do. Today we're going back to 2002. The clothes I bought the friends I got, my teacher had a meltdown. The movie opens and it's clearly set in New York, which is fun, and it has an original theme song. It's me, it's I was reading on IMDb that this song was written by a band called Prozac, and they had to change their band's name once the song, went to Disney, because Disney was like, well, this is a kids channel, this is a kids movie, your band's name can't be Prozac. Wake up, boo-boo, it's me, get a clue. Hey, hi, my turn. I do remember liking the tech aspect of this movie. My family was super behind in terms of tech. We had dial-up for a solid 5 years after most of my peers had, Wi-Fi and not dial-up.
I don't get it, Dad. If you don't like that paper, why do you read it every day?
Because I'm a reporter, Taylor. I'm curious. Besides, it's important to keep your eye on the competition.
The Daily Examiner is a competitor to the New York Times?
Yes, I know it's hard to believe, but true.
I read it religiously.
Oh, is it crispy, Gilda? The way I like it?
Like charcoal briquettes.
We have another rich family. It's fine. I think showing a family that's less well off, I think Disney thought that wouldn't be entertaining. So I think that's why most of their Disney families are, solid middle class, or in this case, clearly, wealthy.
I can't believe it. I submitted this to the junior journalist column weeks ago, and they actually ran it.
You've been selected. This is wonderful.
Oh, it is, honey. They ran your photo.
I used Taylor's digital spy camera. It shoots pictures from around the corner.
The predecessor of Gossip Girl.
It's just a story about Miss Dawson and her friendship with Mr. Walker. They're both teachers at Millington.
Ah, sounds like a human interest piece.
Yeah, definitely human interest. Gossip.
Congratulations, Lexi.
Isn't it funny how our brains work? My memory is not the sharpest, but I managed to remember tidbits of information that is entirely useless to me now. This girl played Carol in the Saddle Club TV show. I loved those books when I was a kid, and watching the show really exposed me to some Canadian culture.
Congratulations, Lexi. It's so exciting. The Daily Examiner.
Mr. Walker? And Miss Dawson? No way.
That was some article.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah. Hedda Hopper had nothing on you.
Hedda who?
And you call yourself a writer. You should know. She was the most famous gossip columnist ever.
I am not a gossip columnist. I give advice in the school paper, and the article in the Daily Examiner is a human interest piece. If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret now, would it, Gabe?
Oh, come on, you get that shot of Mr. Walker. He won't even allow his picture in the yearbook.
You know what they say, a good reporter is always on the job. Hi, Gabe.
Hey, Jennifer.
Bye, Gabe.
Everyone's talking about it.
Well, Jack Downey just trashed it.
Oh, of course he did. He's so jealous.
So we have our main crew, Lexi, Jen, played by criminally underutilized Brenda Song, and Jack. So Lexi, Jen, and Jack.
Think about it. The editor of the school paper is upstaged by a member of his own staff. He's dying over this.
You are so right, Jen. Thanks.
What are friends for?
So true.
We're all proud when one of our own is able to make their way onto a more visible platform, especially a colleague from one of our, softer news areas.
Jack is cynical and judgy of the power of gossip, which I think is kind of the stereotype with males thinking that gossip is silly and frivolous, when really gossip has been around since kind of the beginning, right?
That's what's changed. Can you understand that?
I guess I'm gonna have to try. I'm sorry I ever met you. If you think I'll continue to pass you in these halls, you're sadly mistaken. One of us has to leave Millington, and I assure you it's not going to be me.
So we have the movie's mystery set up. These two teachers have an apparent breakup, and you're wondering, like, okay, why? What's happening here? I don't recall a lot of Disney Channel original movies having this much emphasis on a mystery, so it's fun to kind of rewatch this.
There's stories all around you, Lex. You just have to keep your eyes open, and when you get a hunch about something, investigate it.
Lexi's dad is a reporter for the New York Times because, of course, he is. He mentions investigative journalism, which plants the seed in Lexi's mind. She wants to be taken seriously.
Vehicle is a light colored sedan.
just went missing. I don't think missing people make the front page of the news, although he is a white man, so maybe.
Wait, what happened?
There isn't much information yet, but they did find his car in the East River early this morning.
Oh my gosh. And Mr. Walker?
He hasn't been found yet. There's a lot of speculation, but things don't look very good.
News of Mr. Walker's bizarre disappearance spread faster than word of a Barney's warehouse sale.
We're 16 minutes in, and I believe this is the first time we have any voiceover from Lexi, which seems a bit unusual. I would have expected the voiceover to start in the beginning, because I have a feeling it's going to come in at the end, and she's going to kind of have a nice voiceover line at the end. So normally, you would bookend it with the opening and the ending.
Mr. Walker, nonetheless, classes will continue for the time being. Now, our next guest speaker is here. He is a small business owner who is an award-winning taxidermist. Everyone, Mr. Greenblatt.
Am I in trouble for something?
No. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. I'm Detective Potter. Please sit down.
Lexi is interviewed by this caricature of a detective. It is a kid's movie, so I think the mustache is, funny, and it also helps kids remember who this character is, the detective with the mustache.
Well, they broke up. Actually, he broke up with her. Miss Dawson was really upset.
You witnessed this?
Well, they were arguing, and she said one of them was going to have to leave Millington, and it wasn't going to be her. She might be a big help.
And then she destroys this man's confidence with kind of her backhanded suggestion about what he should do with his facial hair.
Has anyone ever told you that you'd look better without the knobs?
No.
Well, I really think you should consider it.
Would you mind coming downtown with me for further questioning?
I think I better contact my lawyer.
Yes, don't speak to the cops without a lawyer. It's your right to have one, so use it.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this, Jack Downey, and it's going to be the front page news. Mark my words.
You don't know the first thing about Mr. Walker. I'm the only one who knows him, much less cares about him.
You're right. As much as it pains me to say this, Jack, I think we should team up and investigate this thing together.
Whoa, what's the point of that?
2 heads are better than 1. Besides, if you help me, I know we can crack this case wide open.
Jack and Lexi, the unlikely duo, pretty obvious they're doing an enemies to lover trope here.
Are you serious?
Come on, Jen, this is strictly business. I told Jack I'd call him tomorrow with the time we'd meet.
You've got his number?
Mm-hmm. Cute.
We have this lovely and subtle transition here.
So, Jen, what do you know about Jack?
Not much. I'm not interested, but you should be.
What?
Oh, get a clue. He likes you. That's why he treats you like a reject in the outlet mall.
Thanks.
Can I help you guys?
Yes. We're looking for some spy equipment.
This was cooler when I was a kid, but now I've read one too many stories about Apple AirTags and other things like that. So always a little weary of spy tech.
And your point is?
Well, if we watch her for a few days and nothing suspicious takes place, maybe we can clear her name.
Now the crew is rounded out with Gabe, who happens to live across from Miss Dawson.
That's in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn? I am not schlepping all the way out to Brooklyn.
2002. Was this pre-gentrification?
You've never been on the subway before, have you?
Please, of course I have. I take it all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I made it. I can't wait to tell Jennifer. What? How interesting.
Lexi sure has a lot to say about Brooklyn.
I feel like a store mannequin.
You mean like a dummy on display? Excuse us, sir.
Of course, the homeless character is a person of color. This was Disney in 2002, which unfortunately is kind of to be expected.
Hey, didn't that man's coat look like the one that Mr. Walker used to wear?
I don't know. I didn't notice it.
I'm sure that was Mr. Walker's coat. I mean, how many of those hideous green frocks could there be in one city?
Lexi and Jack enter Mr. Walker, who's the missing teacher. They enter his apartment. The door just happens to be open.
Should we go in?
Well, we came all the way over here, didn't we? Look at this. NP.
Detective Meany.
And look who it is.
That's because he was not a detective.
What? And you know this because...
Because a New York detective could never afford a platinum watch, a Pumoni suit, and alligator boots.
Huh?
I think this is good writing. They've established Lexi is a bit of a snob and a fashionista. And I'm using that word jokingly, just that may not be clear with the voiceover. Jack's from Brooklyn, so he exposes Lexi to his life. He's got a single mom, a brother in the Navy. It's a life very different than her own. And she seems to take that in well, not as judgmental as she has been shown to be before.
But we took good care of him.
Must have been really hard.
It was really okay. I loved my dad.
Is this the computer that Mr. Walker gave you?
Mm-hmm.
I can see why. It's ancient.
Why are you insulting people that are less fortunate than you? She just can't keep any of those thoughts in. She has to say them out loud.
That's not possible.
What's not possible?
I have an email.
Oh, yes, that is a surprise. But you must have some friends.
It's from Mr. Walker.
What? Wait a minute, hold on. This is so weird. The letter itself was dated 4 days ago, but it wasn't sent until yesterday. How does a dead man send email?
Ooh, mysterious.
Well, this was Mr. Walker's computer, right?
Yeah.
Seems like Mr. Walker was going under a different name. I may be a bit dense, but I think that's what they're saying here.
Nicholas Petrosian, NP.
The initials on the briefcase at Mr. Walker's house.
Well, so Mr. Walker's real name is Nicholas Petrosian?
Okay, good. I'm glad that they restated that for confused viewers like myself.
That is so bizarre. What was Miss Stern wearing?
It was hard to tell, but I think...
Excuse me. Who cares? Can we continue?
Yeah, whatever.
Go right ahead. Nothing really. He was just sort of creepy, and he dressed way too flashy to be a detective.
You know, Cameron Diaz dressed pretty flashy in Charlie's Angels.
Jen...
Oh, so suddenly Lexi is too good to talk about fashion?
I just ran a search on the name Nicholas Petrosian, and this came up in the Arizona Dispatch.
Nicholas Petrosian, a banker, mysteriously disappeared, and there's evidence to indicate that he may be dead. Just recently, he has been charged with fraud and embezzlement.
White-collar crime. Fairly kid-friendly.
Petrosian is survived by his mother, who resides in Brighton Beach, New York.
I say we pay her a visit.
So these two find Petrosian's mom in Brooklyn, and look who it is.
You're thinking,
They're
don't
okay,
do
Mom.
this.
Mr. Walker!
Come on.
Would you...
This fade to black really makes this feel like a made-for-TV movie, which it is, right? I guess it would have been too abrupt just to cut to commercial. Let's do a little fade to black. But when you're watching it on Disney Plus, it just feels, a little awkward.
So do you want to fill us in on the fraud and embezzlement you were charged with in '87? We found out about that.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You've always done your homework. But I'm not guilty. I was framed. I had just landed a really big, important account, and everyone started taking notice, especially Granville. Oh, he was my boss. Somebody stole $10 million out of that new account and put it into a foreign account in my name. I was framed for the theft.
I'm going to guess here that his old boss is the one that's pretending to be a detective so he can track him down.
You never found out who framed you?
No, lots of people had access to the account.
What about the money? No idea where it went?
Not a clue. I sure wish I did, though. I take drastic action, and I fake my own death in order to shake off my pursuer.
So he faked his own death twice now.
Egg salad?
Pumpernickel.
It went head over heels, and everything was going great until Lexi's article appeared in the newspaper.
Oh my gosh. It looks like you were found because of my picture. I'm so sorry, Mr. Walker. I never had any intentions of hurting you.
I know you didn't, Lexi.
He is very understanding of Lexi snooping and spying on him and taking pictures of him. I would be like, maybe you shouldn't be snooping and taking pictures of people secretly and publishing them in newspapers.
What are you doing here? I live here, you geek.
I haven't talked much about the fashion in this movie. I will say I remember really liking this outfit and am still a big fan of the high pony.
It's 2 o'clock. Can you stand this? It's 2 o'clock.
Okay, guys, places.
The meeting is set for 2, and then at 2, they're like, oh, better hide, get in your places. So they really should have been there at least 15 minutes early. Right at 2, they're like, oh, we gotta get in our places.
It's that homeless guy with Mr. Walker's coat.
I forgot about this scene. Essentially, all the adult characters from the movie show up, and it's not clear who the blackmailer is.
It's Miss Stern.
Petrosian.
Granville, I can't believe it's you. You did this to me? Why?
Yep, called it, but I can't really pat myself on the back too much because, you know, this is a kid's movie, and the filmmakers probably wanted kids to be able to piece it together. So, you know, not my most impressive gotcha, called it moment.
Just give me what belongs to me.
Don't go there, Mr. Walker. Just trap him.
To make you go away, I'll give you half of it right now.
Half. Half? What are you talking about, you fool?
Okay, you two go up and Jack and I'll go down.
What are they going to do if they catch up with him? Can you be under 18 and perform a citizen's arrest? I hope not.
Wow. Thank you, Jack.
I find this kiss a little cringy. Seems kind of wrong time, wrong place, and also kind of old school way of thinking like, oh, you saved me. Let me reward you with a kiss on the cheek.
Wow. Thank you, Jack.
Homeless man on the streets of Brooklyn. He's here today to tell us his story. Ladies and gentlemen, City Council member Gary I Care.
So the homeless man storyline has a twist, which is good. I was worried that they were playing the scenes with the security guard chasing the homeless man, you know, purely for laughs. But I mean, it was still played for laughs. But he's not homeless, so it's okay. Once again, sarcasm.
I am proud to stand before you today as a man with some small insight into the poverty on our streets.
Jack, there he is.
Go get him.
Why does Jack have to go get him? Because he's a guy? I would have found it more empowering if Lexi had done this cake pushing.
Free Mr. Walker.
The money disappeared from his Swiss account. If you're innocent, Mr. Petrosian, what happened to the money?
Mrs. Petrosian, where did you get that extremely unique bumblebee brooch?
I had gone to the bank to meet my son for lunch. There was a paper bag on the floor, so I picked it up. Inside was the most magnificent piece of jewelry I had ever seen.
A very rare canary diamond. It's so rare that there are less than 30 certified canary diamonds around the world. It's probably worth around $10 million. That would be all.
Okay, so how does she know that? I get that she likes clothes, but she's a diamond expert too? I wish that had been set up a little. They could have easily had an exchange where she commented on someone else's jewelry, and that would give us a clue that she likes gems or has an interest in gems.
New York has got to be the coolest city in the world. It has a little bit of everything. Be it mystery, intrigue, or good friends, it's all here. And if you can't find it, well, then you just have to get a clue.
This last line, oof. They couldn't just leave it on a sweet note about appreciating New York. They had to add a little preteen sass.
You've never been on the subway before, have you?
Please, of course I have. I take it all the time.
Uh-huh.